You're listening to Radio Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay. This is a program called
The Wonderful World of Wardini Books.
And it's our pleasure, as always, to have in the studio the wonderful Lou from Wardini Books, who is just back from a victorious run, a 102k endurance run. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And you were happy with your result. You took a whole hour off your last time.
Yeah, which when you think about it is easy to do over that distance.
Yeah.
You only have to take a small shaving off each kilometre 100 times. Yeah.
Not that it's got anything to do with books, but how long does it take you to prepare for that?
I think you just, when you know you're going to do it, you just potter along and keep your body moving and keep on your feet and just be aware that you need to get used to being on your feet for a long period of time.
19 hours, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With some serious hills.
Yeah, absolutely. And is there a thing that you've got to psych yourself up for? I mean, does it take long to get into the groove?
Yeah. And actually, physically on the day, I did find that I was probably at least 6 kilometres before I stopped panicking. I couldn't breathe properly.
Yeah, really?
I was like running along like, this is a panic attack. Oh my gosh.
Good on you for doing it. And
thank you.
Lining it up for next year as well.
I don't know. I mean, I always come in at the end of something like that and say to Gareth, don't ever let me do that again. But of course, you know, your brain recovers and the next day you can't remember the horrible bits. You just remember the glowworms.
That's what
in
life's
the
all about,
forest.
isn't it? We look back with rose-tinted glasses.
We do.
3 fabulous books to talk about this week, and the first one is Arturo.
Arturo and the Glitter Glue, written by Elaine Williams, illustrated by Hannah Sames, and it's a New Zealand picture book for children. And I am a big fan of rhyming books for children, but it's very easy to get it wrong.
Is it really?
It is. It's hard to rhyme properly, but this book rhymes properly, so hooray! There are a few practitioners that get it spot on. So in this one, Arturo is a little mouse, and he goes about the house in the night time. There's Arturo. He's got a big old scar look from a previous interaction with a cat. But he goes around and he's not necessarily snuffing around for food and stuff like that. He's a big treasure hunter. So if you look at his little den there in the skirting board, he's got pearls and he's got bits of treasure, sparkly, shiny things. So that's what he does. So what I really like about Arturo is that he's an adventurer. He goes out for the danger. He's almost like the extreme sports mouse. So it explains it here. While most mice are searching for something to eat, their rumbling tummies directing their feet, Arturo is looking for much finer things: pencils and screws and buttons and pins, paper and wool and shells and balloons, Lego and crayons and rings and spoons. So he's chosen to live in a little house where there are children who drop stuff all the time. So out he goes. He latches a safety pin onto his belt, which is made from a length of bright coloured felt. He fits a doll's hat tightly onto his head and steals a fine cushion from a little doll bed. And he's all ready. And this is foreshadowing what's going to happen. All these things that he's chosen to take out with him that night are going to come in handy, because he thinks the household cat Baloo is not in the house, but
Blue is waiting.
Baloo is in the house.
Those drawings are magnificent, aren't they?
They're lovely, aren't they? You could almost stroke that cat.
You could, yeah. It's just like almost 3D-ish.
Yeah, they're just lovely. And that's what Baloo's thinking about.
Yeah.
An Arturo-shaped snack. He's going to put him right in the middle
cone.
there, in the ice cream cone. Yeah, so there is, I won't spoil the whole book for you, but there is a bit of a scrap goes on. The glitter glue is involved, but Arturo does live to fight another day. And seems quite pleased with himself. He's got glitter glue in his new scar.
Tom and Jerry with a Kiwi slant.
Yes, I like that assessment, Ken.
That's very good.
Spot on.
And our next book is named after a song that I know well and you hardly knew. Everything is Beautiful.
Yeah, can you sing that? You just sang it for
No, I'm not going to do it, Kenny. You got to pay in future to hear me sing.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll bring chocolate next time. So this is a grown-up novel by Eleanor Ray, and that's the real cover on the back, but I quite like the advanced reading cover. It's lovely. So in this one, Amy Ashton is our heroine or hero, and she's probably a bit younger than me, I would say. I think she's turned 40, so she's a proper grown up, and she goes to work and she's very bum about everything, and she does her work and she gets on with it, and she doesn't really do human relationships. She's chosen not to, and the whole book is then unravelling about why that is the case. But when she gets home, you realise that she's so relieved to be home because she has so many treasures in her home. She's a hoarder. And she's got, so she can't and she almost gives them human qualities, the things in her home. So if someone breaks a mug, she'll go, oh my God, you know, the poor mug, and she'll take all the bits together and she'll fix it, and she'll make sure it's okay. So she's got a kitchen full of mugs and full of crockery, and she can barely get to the fridge, so she doesn't eat very well. You know, she's not looking after herself all that well. And there are newspapers lined up in the hall and up the stairs, and she goes, you know, she peeks into other people's houses and goes, God, they're so empty.
Yes.
You know, you can see the carpet. And she collects these ceramic birds and things, and you know, they're all her treasures, because she thinks she's been quite betrayed by. So you've got the bits that come through in the past when she's a young girl, and she's got this best friend, Chantal, and they're thick as thieves. And then she meets this boy, Tim, who's the love of her life, and they all move in together. But at some point, Tim and Chantal disappear. And everyone's telling her, well, they've obviously run off together. But there's more to it than that, obviously. So this is about her, and people do love her, but she doesn't realise that they do, you know, because she's not letting herself feel things. But it was quite light and lovely, you know, it's not depressing at all, and you do find out exactly what happened with with her friends.
Who does that book appeal to?
I think if you're looking for, we're still in the summer, we're still clinging on to our summer. If you're looking for a bit of a nice, light, easy holiday read, it will be perfect. And I think book clubs, and you know when you just don't want a dark murder mystery,
absolutely.
or you don't want someone's auto-fiction of being terribly abused as a child, you know, you
want
just
to be uplifted.
Yeah, and eventually you are, in the end, uplifted by this, and just by the kindness that's in it.
Yeah.
There's some really lovely moments.
Do you like knowing that you're going to be uplifted at the end of the book, or would you rather be surprised?
I do like a surprise. I mean, it's always a bonus if you get the sort of, you know, the bit of the tear in your eye, like, oh, that's so delightful. But I don't like to pick what's going to happen.
No.
I feel betrayed.
Just like she was.
Yes.
Okay, Pooh and other words that make me laugh. And everyone laughs at Pooh, don't they?
They do. We already had a
Farts
bit
and
of a
that sort
snigger ourselves
Yes, we
before
did.
we came to air. So this is by Felice Arena. Did I tell you the author of the other one? Eleanor Ray, I think I did,
Yes, you
didn't
did,
I? This one, Pooh and Other Words That Make Me Laugh, is for children, technically. Felice Arena, illustrated by Tom Gellert. And it is massively colourful, and all the kids are shouting words that they think are amazing. So Pooh is obviously the first word. And it just is, these words make me laugh.
Yeah.
And it's a list, but we've got Bumbershoot and Bumfuzzle on the first one, so we're sticking with the theme. And then bottom, and occasionally there's two kids whispering to each other, Pooh! You know, and having a little snigger about it. We've got Higgledy-Piggledy, Flibberty-Gibbet, Flapdoodle, Pooh! Dollop, Doozy and Dawdle, Wallop, Woozy and Waddle. So there's a lot more to it than just Pooh. We've got Jiggly Wriggly, Snickersnee. Isn't that a cool word?
That's a great word, isn't it? Snickersnee, yeah.
I think that was Lewis Carroll used that in the Jabberwocky, didn't he? That's with that snicker-snack thing that goes on. And Twaddle. Brouhaha, tee-hee, and Pooh comes again. So yeah, it's just, I love it. It's just a series of slightly rude words. There's a bit of baby words too, doo-doo, da-da, din-dins. And it also plays with the direction of the book as well. So it's a very interactive and action-packed book. What are your favourite funny words, Ken?
Yeah, sort of like bum is funny, isn't it?
Bum.
And
It always makes toddlers laugh.
what's your favourite slang word? What makes you laugh?
Several words do. I mean, persnickety's one that's a lot of people's favourites, because I think it's the sibilant sound and then that real crack of the k sound as well. So I think it's just things that you can really... I love to hear the way that people talk. I find your accent quite fascinating because it's from all over the place,
that's
isn't
right.
it? And the way that people articulate things, and yeah, so perhaps more the ways in which words are said.
Yeah, I quite like the words that your kids say when they're growing up. Like one of my kids used to say biscotti. And
Yes.
you think, oh, I hope they never stop saying that.
Yeah.
Or the term that they might have for you as they're growing up, and then one day it becomes granddad, and you think, oh, what happened to that cool thing you used to call me? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But they grow out of them, and well, that's
Yeah,
life,
my
I
mum was
suppose.
Baba.
Yeah.
Because one of them couldn't say grandma. It just came out as
And
Baba.
Did it stay as Baba, or did it become grandma?
She did for a long time stay as Baba.
Yeah, and then it becomes...
Yeah, true grown up now.
Yeah,
True
and so,
grown up.
where did that go?
Yeah, I know. It's so lovely, isn't
It
it?
is.
Yeah, lots of things like that. And you don't want them to grow out of it. But there's persnickety, skedaddle, caboodle, persnickety, rickety, scuttlebutt, succotash, skittles and skew. And in the back, it tells you what all those words mean because they're all real words.
That is a great idea.
I love the word succotash. Do you know what
What does
that
that mean?
is?
No, what does that mean?
Corn kernels and shell beans cooked together.
Is that so? It's a meal.
So it's a meal and it's delicious too, isn't it?
I've never had it. Is it good?
I don't know. Sounds it. I'm quite hungry. I didn't eat breakfast. Bumfuzzle is a real word too. Another way of saying confuse or puzzle.
Oh, so you're bumfuzzled.
Bumfuzzle. I'm bumfuzzled.
I must try
I
that.
expect you to use that from now
Yeah,
on.
I'm going to say to my wife tonight, are you bumfuzzled about that?
Which be like, how rude. How dare you speak to me in such a manner.
She might laugh after I tell her what it means.
Yeah.
All right, if you want any of these wonderful books, where do we get them?
We get them at Wardini Books. That would be nice.
It would be nice. And you're everywhere. You're online, you're in person, the whole shooting box.
Email us if you can't make sense of the website. You know, websites are tricky sometimes. Books
Yes.
at wardini.co.nz.
Don't be too bumfuzzled about it.
Absolutely.
Good
Nice one.
on you. Talk to same time, same place next week.
Cool. Thanks, Kim.